I have made the protection. I have made the safeguard. May the harmful beings depart. I pay homage to the Sublime One. I pay homage to the 7 Buddhas. Oh. Good morning, friends. All right, so we finish up today. Kandhaparitta. We have gone through practicing, I have metta for beings with 2 feet, with no feet, 2 feet, 4 feet, many feet. May beings that have 2 feet, no feet, 2 feet, 4 feet, many feet have metta for me and not harm me. Right? Infinite is the triple gem. Finite are creepy crawly things. And so this is the final thing here. I have made the protection. I have made the safeguard. Right? May harmful beings depart. I think maybe in this line, probably way back in when we were doing the Karaniya Metta Sutta, I told the story about the famous story about the monk in Thailand who had the snake enter his dwelling, and he gave metta to the snake, and he told the snake that we can't live together so closely because one of us will get afraid, right, and harm the other. So we should not live together so closely. And then the snake departed. Right, so we have that story in here, right, to give metta to the beings. Now, please depart. Don't come close to me. Reminds me of, like, many of you know that I practiced for a long time lots of metta towards spiders in particular, and I started having all kinds of weird experiences with spiders, like when one spider did walking meditation with me, and like spiders, the story of the Thai Ajahn and the snake resonates with me because I've had similar experiences with spiders. Like I've had just big wolf spiders just come right up to me, right by my feet, and just stand there, and I'm like, I have metta for you, but don't come any closer. Because then I'm gonna freak out, right? I have metta for you up until you've reached a certain you've crossed a certain threshold, and then it's gonna be, I'm not gonna harm you, but I'm not gonna stick around. I'm gonna be the one that moves, right? So you have this understanding of metta is, metta helps you with these things that you can have the beings, but there's still a limit. Right? We still, just because you have metta for something doesn't mean you want it. You gotta, go up and hug it, and that you want it to be creepy crawling all over you. There's a limit, or maybe it's just a limit of my own metta. I don't know, but even still, but see, this is one of the few in the early texts. There's only maybe 2 or 3 others in all of the early texts where the Buddha gives a paritta. Right now, now you do things like you chant the Metta Sutta for paritta, you chant the Ratana Sutta for paritta, you chant this for paritta, that for paritta. Like the industry, the business of protective chanting has grown exponentially since the early days. Right, the Buddha, this is one of the very few examples. You see more examples of the Buddha kind of not really encouraging such things. But metta here and in the Karaniya Metta Sutta is considered a bit of a protection. And I think it's because of the state of the mind of the person. Right? If you're giving out lots of metta, you're dear to human beings and dear to non-human beings. Right? So if you practice lots of metta, you're protected. Right? If you practice lots of metta and you go into a dangerous area without any armor, compared to if you don't practice metta and you're cruel and you go into a dangerous area with armor, if I had to choose, I'd choose the metta without the armor. I would 100%. There's no doubt. My experience has shown me that I would choose the metta without the armor. right? Because I do believe that I would have less likely chance of finding harm, right? So in a way, metta is my protection in that way. Metta is my armor. And this is coming from somebody who is a medieval nerd who used to wear medieval armor, steel armor, and fight. And so I've given up my steel armor for metta armor. But yeah, and I do believe that this is, in that way, it is a safeguard. It's not that you're impervious. It's not that just because you practice metta, you'll never come to harm. That's not what this means. Right? What this means is that you're less likely to, right? That you're less likely, if you're going to choose an armor, in my opinion, I would choose metta, right, over some kind of physical armor. And I think that's where this is going. You know, I think that animals and young children and beings that are not kind of human adults, they sense things and they know things about beings that we can't, that we've lost. I do believe that. And so I think that a person who is full of metta, whose mind is calm and clear and at peace, causes less stirring. It's almost like, you can think about it as like sonar pings, right? Like, you know, like submarines in the ocean. If like the submarine is like, you know, doing the engine and things like that, it's like much louder. It's much easier to detect, right? But if the submarine is on silent, running silent and all that stuff, much harder to detect. Or you can think of that similarly like the mind, right? When you're in the woods, you're among creepy crawlers, the calm, peaceful mind, right? Less likely to be detected. Less likely to bring agitation, right? Less likely to cause alarm. Very important. So this is why, especially if you're in the woods, in the jungle, metta is a good protector, a good safeguard. So friends, all right, well, until next time, Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy, practice well, and be well. May you have a spiritually successful and peaceful day. Practice lots of good metta and the Noble Eightfold Path.